an intro.
Oh, I think we need to talk about how the heck this thing's come about.
You should also say who your name is in case someone's listening and they're like, who's who?
Okay, cool. Yes. Okay. So
start there.
if you're not watching but you're listening right now, my name is Samuel Wayne Thompson.
Oh, we've got
full name.
Full name.
And I am the founder and the chief jokester here at Acta Media. And we're currently in Acta Studios right now, and just talking with Josh. It's a surreal moment. We're finished. We're almost ready to open this up to the world, and it's an exciting time. And this is the first podcast in this studio, first of many, and the first for Kingdom Creatives. And so I'm really excited. Who are you?
Who am I? I am Joshua David Hodgman.
Lovely.
That's my full name, and I am just fun guy. I really feel that void in the space.
Yeah.
And anything attached to fun,
true.
I'll
Josh
be
is
there. I'll
Yeah,
be
that's
there.
right.
And
It's a bit savage, but mostly kind.
yes,
Yeah.
it's like
And-
I say this probably isn't good advice, but if you're dabbling in the world of humor,
Dabbling.
sometimes jokes are going to miss.
True.
And you need to be willing
True.
to wear that
True.
and then apologize when you might go too far.
Yep.
But then, it's the world of comedy. But that's not what this is about.
Some would say it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And no, it's great to be here today, and I'm just really excited for this
Yes.
God-breathed idea. So I want to know, bro, how did all this come about? You talk to me, like what?
Yeah.
Because we had this intersection of like you kind of were on this bit, but then I came to you with a word. Like, just talk to me about your perspective on how this whole Kingdom Creatives idea came about.
Yeah, wow. So
That we haven't even started yet.
No, we haven't started yet, but I feel like so much has.
But the point of this really is I want to bring us all, and I want to reflect on this. I want to bring us all along the journey of like, hey, like we're starting this from nothing, and we're going to see what God does.
So I like to think there was two separate forces of nature, one named Samuel Thompson, one named Josh Hodgman.
Yes.
We were both on our own in the wilderness.
And they are forces.
Yeah. And then they've collided under this one word of God. But basically...
Bring your mic down a little bit.
A bit lower.
It's just busting my ears.
Busting. Is that better?
There we go.
How good.
That's better. Sorry, team.
Figuring it out. Well, Sean, cut that bit out.
Yeah.
Love you, Sean.
Love you, Shawnee.
Love you, Shawnee. He's
Yeah.
looking at me right now. No, come in.
Don't come in. Don't come in.
Actually,
No,
don't come in.
No, don't.
Oh, he's just looking.
Anyway,
Okay.
our team's out there doing stuff.
Definitely cut
Yep.
that part out.
I won't.
No. This is going to be so good.
So the two forces of nature.
So what happened was I've always had in my heart this void of like being a Christian, a man of faith, but then also a creative in like this digital era. It's always been hard to find not a fit, but somewhere to belong, because it's like in a church, it's very like worship based. Like if you're a creative of some sort, you're going to be not piled in, but you got to be put like the main creative expression of a church.
It's a music team.
Is the music team. And it's like you can jump on a camera, you jump on a switch, but I'm like...
But they're like the fringe elements.
Yeah, it's so true. And I'm like, I always felt like, how do you enhance this? And there's so much going on. And then you look at the church over all Australia, especially in our context, and you just see such a need in this digital space of like, oh, here's this thing that we have, and there's so many people out there, but they don't know where to go, where to contact. And I just feel like everyone was scattered, basically. You know what I mean? Like they're everywhere.
There wasn't like a central meeting point.
There wasn't.
Well, churches might have that. Like your church might have a point of meeting for creative night and, whatever it is. But outside of your church, even outside of your movement, there's no other way to really
it's
connect.
True. Because it's like you got so much worship now, so many, like the worship music is like so well covered on so many aspects. And it's like, I kind of just had this feeling of like being on a bit of an island. And like I, over the years, have met so many other awesome like videographers, designers and everything. And they're just all doing their own thing. Yeah. And they're kind of all scattered. And that's kind of what I was sitting with for a long time, of just this sort of like, how cool would it be if there was a way to just bring us together? And that was like as far as I got. Like I never knew, because I'm like, that's so hard to do in the context of one church, because it's like everyone's like living on the north side, the south side, different states and everything. It's really hard to like come together and like everyone's busy and everything. So that was kind of where I was sitting on it. And then that was one force of nature, me seeing this like...
And you've said, is this a years long? Or?
Yeah, it's probably been on my heart
Couple
since,
years.
I'm going to say, like 6 years now.
Yeah.
Coming on, this thing's just been brewing, and it's like, didn't know what to do with that. And like ideas would come and go, meet more people and everything, but it was never really like grown from there, because it's also, I think there's a big nuancy.
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 I like
That's a
that.
new word.
Nuancy.
When it comes to this type of creativity, what I found is like there's so much like work involved in the act of worship that it's really lonely sometimes. Like you might be like, I'm going to make this really incredible video, but that's just a lot of work and a lot of late nights, and you're just getting tired.
It's
and you're
not
like,
glamorous.
No, it's not at all. And it's like you can also lose that like encouragement almost, because it's like you're not doing that feedback isn't instant, because it's like our act of worship is the finished product, like this beautiful thing that then people see that and they go, oh, wow, like the Lord spoke me through that. I finish it. I'm like, I can see that as well. But it's like during it is like, oh, I'm just getting sustained because I know my word. I know that, you know what I mean? It's like.
Or you get burnt out.
Yeah, it's like, so they're the things that, burnt out. So yeah, you can get burnt out like that. And that's really hard to like be like, how do we cultivate that? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's so different.
It's difficult.
Yeah, so that's kind of where the space I was sitting in, like also context, like working in a church for many years, volunteering in church for even longer. So it's like very much seeing that and like seeing, not necessarily myself, but other people come and go, because it's like, it's a really hard thing. And like, it's a different type of approach and community. And it's like something that I've always wanted to gather together, but didn't know how. And then that's probably the biggest thing that introduced the collide of force number 2.
Yeah, talk to me about that.
Which is Sammy Thompson. And I remember you just coming to me, when was it?
Start of the year.
Start of the year.
Start of this year.
Yep. And I think you just came in, or you called me or something, and it was just
I think
like,
I called you.
And you were just like driving, and you're just like, I think we need to do this thing. And we didn't know what to call it.
I think I even said to you, like, I was like, I have this idea. I think the name is like Kingdom Creators, but I don't like that name at all.
Yeah, that's right.
Remember that?
And then I think I agreed with you.
Yeah, I was like,
no,
I don't like, no, that's not the name. It's not the name.
And then we went down the classic Hebrew rabbit hole to try and find
That's
like
right.
a weird name.
And we never found it. It was just Kingdom Creators was what it was.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I was just, from my perspective, I was just, things were humming along here great. I just moved back from America and things were going really good. We were building. Sarah was just coming on shortly, and I think I don't know if I was in prayer or not, but I remember just this thought dropped into my spirit, like we need to get people together, but first to worship and seek the heart of the Father. That's first and foremost, and then the rest comes later. And I thought, if we can just get creators, like who are these people that I'm talking about? And then creators just came to my mind. And I thought we need to get creators together, young, old, doesn't matter, and just go after the prophetic. What's the Lord saying? How do we use our gifts for Him? And then that was the thought. And then I guess from there it evolved into like some frustrations you have had, with working in a church, some frustrations I've had, and some gaps that we've seen, in church life. That's like, well, I actually know a lot of people who work in the creative department who get burnt out. Like a lot of my friends are like, yeah, I used to be the video person and I worked there for 2 years. I had so much on that I just completely burnt out, Like, have you ever been there before? Because you worked at a church for a long time.
I worked at church for a long time. I think personally, I never probably got to that space of feeling like burnt out at all. It's like, I think it's also that trap of like, you got to be called to ministry and you really got to feel like any aspect of it. And it's like you're just getting plugged in the wrong hole almost of like, not that thing. But it's like, I really found the guys that I talk to that get burnt out is just because it's like, it's that balance of resource versus execution time. Right. You know what I mean? It's like there's one person, 2 people maybe.
A lot of churches can't afford a 6-7 person team. They probably need to support what they got going on. Yeah,
it's like there's so much, like you think of any church, the outreach arm, the ministry arm, you know what I mean? It's like then they've got the worship, the families, like there's so many different young adults, like all those departments, if you will, and arms of the church. And in this day and age, like the digital era we live in, they all could benefit so strongly from more content. Correct. And then it's that problem of like more.
But then it's like, who's going to do it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like who's going to do that content? It's like a lot of, I guess, larger churches might have 2 or 3 people on their team, right? They got someone that can do graphics, someone that does photos and videos, but it's like they all do everything. They all need it yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's like this big schmozzle. It's kind of, you do get buried in a lot of stuff because there is a lot of content and things that the church wants to get out. And like, even as a business owner, I know that like when you have staff on and you're paying them throughout the day, we need to be doing work. We need to be able to justify. And so I feel like in a church environment, sometimes we accidentally throw people into those positions who may not get life out of doing that, or maybe they need, you know, like Sarah, for example, that works here, she needs social interaction with the team. And I think as soon as we moved all the tables out and everyone's all together, she's like coming alive. She loves it, you know. I think a lot of creatives need connection and they need each other to like boost that energy. But oftentimes in church, it's like, can you just go do this? Like, we just need to get this done. Like, come on,
film
we need
this
to get
event,
it out. Film
be
this.
in a hole till
So
midnight.
then it's a week and they've been working by themselves the whole time.
It's also that thing which I love so much about where this all sparks from, which is like going back to that point of like, what was my experience? And like not having that is because it's like really early on, even before probably like 2 years before I even worked at the church, I really, it'd be great to know this Bible verse, but
Fact check later.
Fact. Where it talks about seek the kingdom and all else will be given to you. Proverbs, I'm guessing something.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. But I remember that and talking to my pastor about that moment, about that shift in my soul and my mind about like, you know, it actually comes from seeking the kingdom first. It's like what I do does not define me. None of that matters. It's like if you seek the kingdom, he will sustain you. He'll give you everything you need and he'll open any door that's required. And if that's your posture, so much can flow and you can like do so much more because you're in a good place from the spirit. You know what I mean? Obviously there's practice of what's yes and what's no. But like, I love that how your heart, the first thing you said to me, I remember is like that whole, like, I see a bunch of creatives coming together to worship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not about the output.
Yeah.
It's about our expression.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love that. And I even get goosebumps when you talk about that because it's like we're so often, because as creatives, our worship is output.
Yes.
And that's good. Like our worship is output because we're singing a song, we're editing a video, we're taking our photos, you know, we're designing that thing, but we don't oftentimes take back in so that we can be we can actually give our best,
So true.
you know, and like I'm a sucker for it. One of my predisposed, I guess, preclusivities is to burn out because I just go. And I don't think about, I actually need, you know, like it was only a few years ago that I realized I need Sabbath, you know? And like, when I first started the business, I'd just go all week, all weekend, you know? And I felt myself burning out. And it wasn't until key people in my life, some mentors in my life and some spiritual mothers and fathers spoke in and just said, hey, like, you need to have a day off. You need to take Sabbath. You need to come to this. You know, I remember going to London for the first time, which was really the change for me. And I remember just meeting with the Lord in such a powerful way that I haven't met with him for so many years. And that has still to this day, and it was 2.5 years ago, has sustained me to this day, you know, like, and it's not that I'm living on that moment or that experience. I've had many since then. And I think we need many infillings.
It's so true.
As creatives, but it was like this moment that I received, you know, and then I was able to be my best self. But oftentimes we don't take those moments to receive.
It's so true. It's like you said, it's about the output, the outpouring. So if our cups aren't full, you can't sustain.
Yeah.
Like you just can't. And that's kind of like, it's not really anyone's fault that this happens. You know what I mean? Because it's so hard because they're busy doing the work.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that you can forget to do it. And it's like just that reminder from someone that's like, that's what's so awesome about this. And I'm like actually genuinely excited that it's like, you've seen it, like you talk about this space that we're in, Acta Studios, so much like it's like people experience God here. We just want people to come through, hang out all the time.
You've seen the people that come through, they're like, oh, it just feels so good in here.
Literally today.
Yeah.
You know, someone came through and we ended up praying with them
for
and
the
everything.
first time.
Yeah. Like it's just that culture and that environment of like, there's this someone that's literally what they were talking to us about, going through the exact same things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like coming together. It's like that understanding point of like, no, I know exactly what it's like to be up till 1 a.m. editing a video. You know what I mean? I know exactly what it's like when the memory card fails and you lose everything and like, how do I navigate that? You know what I mean? It's like,
and we all realize that like we started our creative journeys at the church. Like I remember I said, like I started my video editing journey on Sony Vegas up in the media office editing church news. I think I was on the church news on the green screen and then I was editing it and I was hours and hours I used to spend up there. But I look fondly back on those moments, you know, like I love the church. I love the local church. I just think like I know that what God has given us as a company, we can really bless the church with this, you know? And that's the whole idea of Kingdom Creatives is that like, I want to be able to give back now. Like I want to be able to give back all of the years toiled that the church gave me. I want to be able to go, you know what? Now it's time for me to be able to give back.
That's so true.
I guess that comes down to what even is Kingdom Creatives.
Yep.
And it's interesting that we're talking about this. We don't even have a website up yet.
No.
We've got some logos. You know, we've got some scrap sheet here, like some chicken scrap full of notes on this. But I mean, guys, we really don't have this yet.
We've got a sick font.
But we know what it is. It's almost like this intrinsic, like you and I both know what this is.
Yeah.
So it's like we even feel confident enough to just jump on the camera and talk about it because we know what it is, but we don't have all of our ducks lined up yet.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just talk a little bit about what Kingdom Creatives is.
Let's do it.
So I've written some notes and I want you to help me refine. So guys, this is really, truly on the fly. I mean, I'm talking like just chicken scratch.
This is a business meeting.
There's a business meeting you guys are in on.
So
I've written here, at the top of the page, Kingdom Creatives, what is it? A couple of core selling points is we're a specialized, we provide specialized expertise in faith-based marketing. A lot of the marketing, media, things like that we do now, we end up doing them for churches, movements anyway. So we're almost doing this, but I think you and I have a unique perspective working in a church for a long time, being part of the local church in a media space, now removed. We're doing both secular and faith-based work. We have this unique perspective. And so I think we have that specialized expertise and so do our team. And if I just scroll down here, because those ones are a bit boring, there was a few things I wanted to say about the key problems we want to solve. And I want to know what you think about these, because you haven't read this document yet, have you?
No, I'm going in blind with everyone.
So, lack of in-house creative expertise.
Yep.
I think we expect to just throw anybody into that who might have a creative eye or creative bone, but unfortunately they're working at Aldi for the whole week, and you know what I mean? Or they're working at whatever, City Beach. Like, I don't know, like they're going to their work, they're working in the HR office or whatever it is. And then they've got to be creative on top of that. I think it's really difficult. Or they're coming in part-time and they've got other things happening. So I think a lack of in-house creative expertise, I know we can solve that. Also like budget constraints for full-time creative staff. A lot of churches aren't as cashed up as a current affair make it out to be.
Very true.
The majority of churches. And I think we can provide a service that almost fills multiple roles, So we're able to come into a point where, what is your budget? How can we serve you?
Yeah.
I think that's what Kingdom Creatives is. Obviously, we keep up with rapidly changing digital trends. So like it's hard for a church to keep up with that. Some churches nail it though. And I think we should go through on another episode, some churches, what they do on their Instagram and stuff. It's really cool. I think there's a bit of a gap in inconsistent branding across church communications. It doesn't all look the same unless you're like that top tier church that really invests in this and you've got a big team. It's hard to keep everything consistent. And, we obviously look after brand guidelines and we make sure that everything is looking schmick. It's looking cohesive. Limited reach in the local community. I put here like expand your church's influence with targeted face-sensitive digital outreach so we can speak into that. Struggle to engage younger generations, I think, is an important gap that we need to fill. We're going over to Dallas to film for the Every Gen Tour, and the Every Gen Tour is this concept that we can bring older generation pastors and leaders with younger generation pastors and leaders, bring them together at a table, have the conversation, and then get on the same page, get unified to like run the race. Because I think there's this gap between the previous generation or the two previous generations and the guys coming through now, and so I think we have a unique perspective on that because we're working on projects right now that speak into this ache of this generation. And I think we can help speak into that. Difficulty in measuring the impact of outreach efforts so we can make sure it's all data-driven. It's not just splash and throwing stuff out. Is this working? We can actually run it through our systems. And I've got a whole bunch of stuff here, like overwhelmed staff trying to juggle creative tasks, lack of strategic direction and digital presence, which is so true. Inability to produce high quality video content, like that's difficult, right here in this room, there's probably 50 grand worth of equipment. In the cupboard, there's another 100 grand, but like this stuff is expensive, stuff that we've built up over time, stuff that we're very blessed to be able to have. And I think that we can use top quality, high quality equipment to produce the best quality work, and then just like struggling to build a sustainable volunteer creative team. And then I think this is a big one. I think something that we can really help on is like that difficulty in translating theological concepts into creative looks and feels, So like, there's a sermon series, for example, and we might be engaged with the church to work on their next 2 sermon series. I think our unique ability to translate, the message into how we want people to feel when they watch something is valuable.
It's so true. It's like you see it, not a lot, but like people can easily look at like Elevation in America, their stuff, like top tier, huge teams and everything. And it's like, oh, they did a testimony video that was really good.
Yeah.
Let's do our testimony video, but then they're dealing with someone that's working 1 day a week.
Yep. Or volunteers.
Yeah, volunteers. And it's like the
with their own
times,
gear.
constraints, organization. It's like, the beautiful thing is stories, testimonies are like the foundation of the Bible, how Jesus communicated a lot.
Story.
You know what I mean? It works. And it's worked for thousands of years and it still works today, whether it's long form or short form, the story matters. And it's like the time it takes to craft that is sometimes out of people's reach. And people sometimes look at it and go, oh, was it the quality that was lacking? Was it what was it? And it's like most of the time you look at it, it's like the story just wasn't executed as good as it could be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like because
the story's still powerful.
Yeah.
Like the person's awesome. They communicated well, but unfortunately we weren't able to capture it correctly or get the right music in or, you know, whatever it is. And like to produce a high quality video is difficult. You know what I mean? Like to produce something that's watchable and engaging is actually a hard job.
Yeah.
And I think that, I think almost like volunteers and 1 or 2 day a week people just don't have the capacity.
No, it's very hard.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
You know, it's
so
hard.
True.
And then if they have to go out and shoot themselves, like they've got 3 cameras or 2 cameras, they got to set up the audio, the lighting. Well, we'd bring out a team of 5 to go and do that, you know? So I think there are a lot of the gaps that I've written down, but did any of those kind of stick out to you?
Yeah, it's like that time thing that we're talking about is probably like a really big thing. It's like because
what do you mean?
So much is moving so fast in the church. There's like so many key dates that they're hitting, so many things to like impact people's lives. And then it's like just that resource and lack of team. You know what I mean? It's like, I know some friends that like work in the church and they're like, they want to execute these really big visions. But
which is great.
The resource lacks, you know what I mean? Like, I've got one camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm trying to film a 3 camera set. I can't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I've only got a couple of mics, 1 light. It's like, there's so much moving parts. Like gear is a big thing of it. It's like, it doesn't make or break the video, but it does affect when it's one person trying to set up so much
and even
stuff.
the expertise in like, you know, okay, well, we need to go hire some equipment. Like how does a pastor's job isn't to go and work out what cameras that, you know, unless they've got a keen interest in it.
Yeah, so true.
Who's going to help? And I think like we have the group to be able to help.
And we've had sometimes as well when we've done like work for churches where we get the vision from the pastor and that's it. You know what I mean? And then it's like the key part of like communicating that
translating
vision,
that
first back to them as well, where we put together the pitch decks and we explain, hey, this is the one Bible verse you provided and your thought for this conference. That's a good point. But then we're able to, because we live it, you know what I mean? Like we love it. We pray for each other. We talk about it so much. We're like, half our chats are just about the Bible or about this and that, not actually what we do as a job. Right. And it's like, because we're so in it, and it's like, I don't know, like I've worked for a church for 5 years, but then like you said, before that doing videos and starting videos in the church. So it's like my actual context is Christian videos.
Yeah. And everyone that works here does, like we've all started at the church and it's such a great breeding ground. And I think to that point, bro, what I want Kingdom Creatives to be is like a garden, you know, where we can plant the seeds, plant the people in, they can grow, they can come alongside us. You know, what I was talking to you about before is like, I want us to be able to have Discord channels and have like a conference once a year.
Yeah.
I want us to do all these things where, you know, let's just say a church signs on with Kingdom Creators for, 12 months. It's like, okay, well, our succession plan of this 12 months is to get you 2 absolutely amazing creatives. They can join us on every shoot. Yeah. They can come, they can have full access to the studio. You know, they come to our conference once a year where we get great speakers in to help, not to speak in creatively, but prophetically to these people.
So true.
We can help nurture and grow these young creatives or middle to older age. I know people who are in their 40s ready for a change. They want to do creatives. The guy you were talking to me about, right? He's used to be in video. Now he's driving Ubers. I think that people like that just need somebody to come alongside them and say, hey, like we can do this. Like you can actually be creative, you know, like, so what I want to do is I want Kingdom Creatives to not just come in and say, hey, we're going to just do your media forever. Yeah. That's not the heart of this thing. Look, this thing's only 5 years long, but we have empowered 1,000 churches to have their own in-house creatives who are actually sustained. Yeah. You know, they have a community and they're fully trained. Our mission's done. But, you know, if it's next 10 or 20 years, whatever, I don't know what the Lord has. But the idea is that we bring people along with us, you know? So a church signs on for 12 months and they got 2 guys who are like, need a lot of work, but who's going to teach them? Unless somebody in their church is willing to put their hand up and go, hey, we'll do it. Well, why don't they come alongside Kingdom Creatives, get in the chats, you know, come in for prayer, come in and dream, come on other shoots with us. If we do big brand deal, brand deal with some agency somewhere, come along with us, like get real world experience, and I think that will be valuable, not just to those people, but to the body of Christ, you know?
It's also that just simply opening up that dialogue. I know some people can sit in a church and they have no idea the person like on the other side is also super keen on video.
Yeah.
Or works in it. Like, because it's like, if there's like 100 people in your church or whatever, it's like, you're not going to talk to everyone, you know what I mean? It's like,
it's difficult.
So it's like, especially if you're a bit more shy or you don't know, it's like, you're not going to know who to talk to.
Like bringing creatives together.
Like I was so lucky that I was just asked with a good mate of mine still and my brother Josh and Chris, it's like they were making these youth videos and they're my youth leaders and like, hey Josh, can you come on these shoots and hold the camera for us?
Yeah.
And that just like sparked, oh, I love this. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I had that community naturally that made all these funny skip videos and then one thing led to the next. And it's like not everyone has that opportunity, like someone like bringing them along. And I remember my creative pastor back in the day, Pastor Aaron Lucas.
Shout out Aaron.
When this was like first sparking my soul, he looked, I said, why isn't this in the church? Like someone else do this, you know what I mean? And he goes, well, maybe it's on you.
Really? This idea?
I mean? Yep. He's like, this idea, maybe it's on you to create something.
Wow.
And it's like,
well, it is now.
Yeah, I know.
It is. He prophetically spoke it.
It's like, and it's true. And it's like, I think it is needed.
Yeah.
And it's like, in like the cool part about the community is like, we might have like 10 different churches and they might have someone like working for them that we're partnering with, you know what I mean, help.
Yeah.
And then they've actually got somewhere to go on the Discord and the Facebook group to be like, hey, here's a video we made. You know what I mean? That we might have not been a part of.
And we get some real life feedback too.
Yeah. So it's like so good. It's like, what could have we done better? What should have we done? Or that was awesome. Like, you don't need us. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, so many things.
Yeah, and I was saying to someone who came in today, I said, like, this isn't about a money maker for us.
So
like,
true.
This is not, trust me, guys, if this was about money, I wouldn't be doing it.
We wouldn't be touching the church.
Obviously, we're going to be making sure that we get, we're good.
Yeah.
Like, we're not, it's not a handout. But a lot of what we do will be a blessing to the body of Christ. A lot of the groups that we make, the community that we build, the time and energy that we put in will firstly bless the church because they're getting high class, great media, great graphics, great photo. Like they're getting a great product. So they're going to obviously elevate their digital presence. But on the other side is like they're also getting amazing young, middle-aged, old, however old they are, creatives to be trained and built up and encouraged and prophetically spoken into and prayed for and believed in, like that's what people did for me. Like that's what people did when I was just a little grommet coming off the street. Like that's what people did for me. And it's such a blessing to be able to now be in a position that I can do that for others, and I think that's the heart of this thing. So any other thoughts? I think, look, I mean, this is a long journey.
It is.
We're just starting. What are we up to now in the process? Just so everyone knows, we're getting the website done. Nick and Sarah are working on the website.
Yep.
We've got the design ready, and then we've got churches and pastors ready to go. Let's do this.
Yeah, it's so true.
But you and I are in the US. You're on holidays.
Yeah.
But we're in the works right now, and I think we're ready to launch it. We just want to make sure that when we're ready to pull the trigger, we can support that load because I can think of 5 people right now who are going to do it. And I'm sure you can think of some more too. So we just want to make sure that we're good on the back end, that we can support this thing. But yeah, getting everything out, starting with this. I don't know where this is going to go. More chats, get some more people on.
Yeah. I think ultimately I'm like actually really excited. And I mean this, like, I feel like through this, like it's called Kingdom Creatives. And the goal is to advance the kingdom through what God's gifted us with. And we're just trying to be good stewards of it. And like expand the kingdom as much as we can, you know what I mean? And like churches are such a valuable, it's the bride of Christ, you know what I mean? It's like,
we don't take it lightly.
For us to partner with that, like it's a huge honor. And I'm so excited for it to just like spread the gospel. And like, there's this shift of like Christian media is slowly moving away from super corny, you know what I mean? Like The Chosen was phenomenally done, but that's still this super unattainable, high end budget. You know what I mean? Like not Hollywood budget, but like
close.
For a church, it's like they're not really like, there's no way they're going to be dropping that money on that. But it's like, I feel like for our ability to help partner with churches and really like raise the standard, make it better, influence more people through great stories and like ultimately see the churches full on a Sunday. Yeah. Like that would be incredible. Yeah. And the kingdom of heaven added to would be amazing. So guys, stay tuned. We're going to have packages. We're going to have more information. We're going to drop the website. We're going to do everything. But I think we just wanted to start this here and
give you a real look into how we're going to build this thing.
Yeah, this is this might actually be on the website.
Yeah,
so
true.
Ignore that part about not having a website.
At the time of recording, we got nada.
Yeah, nothing.
But I'd love to get this out soon and just bring people along the journey. If you want to be involved in some ways, if somehow this is resonating with you, we'd love for you to just reach out to us. Obviously, all the socials are here. We're in Brisbane if you want to come in and hang out. But look, this is really the start of a good thing and the start of a great community. And I'm really excited to see where the Lord takes it. And I'm so thankful that he would let us steward it.
Yes.
I really am.
And I love how real this podcast is, that we just literally sat down and talked about the thing and like, this is real, just so you know.
Yeah.
Like,
so Josh is no longer nervous. He's got it out of the system.
I am.
And he's good.
I was nervous, I think, because I don't take it lightly what we're doing. Because you asked me that at the start and I couldn't put words to it. And after my full train of thought and the full circle.
This is like it now.
Yeah, it's like
we're doing this. Yeah.
Like,
and it's big.
It is.
Agree. Joshy.
Oh, that felt good.
I
don't know
awesome.
how it sounds good.
All right. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us. And we will definitely be back.